What's going on, Genius Nation? It's your man, Dr. Will, and welcome to the Daily Genius. Always excited that you guys are here with us on a daily basis. This is the space where we want to help you grow. We want to help you evolve. We want to help you become the best version of yourself. So every single day, we're on this mission for 365 days. This is episode number 59. We're almost 2 months into this, 60 days into this journey. And I got to tell you, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast every morning when I wake up. I really look forward to the Daily Genius and what we're going to share with you. If you've been following us for any time, you know that what's going on, Dennis. Good to have you here. You know that Sunday is our prep day, right? Sunday is our prep day. Saturday, I talked to you about Saturday being the day that we rewind, we review, and we repair anything from the past week so we can make sure we're going into this new week with some clarity. So Sunday is the day that we use to plan out our success. But today I want to talk to you about another powerful thing that I do, and I think will be beneficial for you if you're not doing it already. And that is journaling. So I titled this Write It Down. And there's so much power in writing out your thoughts. There's so much power in just writing out your thoughts and capturing the moments of your life, because every day we're writing history. Every day we're writing history. And my mentor, Jim Rohn, he used to always say, listen, don't trust your faulty memory when you can write it down. Don't trust your faulty memory when you can write it down. And so I've been journaling now for probably 15 years now. And I use journaling to get thoughts out of my head. I use journaling to write down memories. I use journaling to take notes. I use journaling to show gratitude and appreciation. And so I've been doing this for quite some time. And these journals, I mean, you see they get used, and they become my reference points for my life. And they're probably the most valuable books that I have, because they literally become instruments of knowledge for me. And so I was just reading one of them this morning, just reviewing one of them this morning that I have here. And this is why journaling is so powerful, because it helps you capture these moments. And I was reading this moment this morning about a moment that happened for me back in 2017. Now, I didn't forget the moment, but because I journal, I was able to capture my feelings at the time. You're probably going to be able to remember some significant things, but I think it's also to remember and attach the feeling that you had. And that's what journaling allows me to do. You know, the other day, my daughter just gave birth to our first grandbaby, and I'm able to journal my feelings. Like, I'm not going to forget the day, January 25th, 2024, my granddaughter was born, but I want to be able to capture those feelings. And so here's something that I wrote this was something that happened to me back in 2017. And so I wrote, on March 5th, I read an FB message, a Facebook message from a lady saying she was my sister. Her name is Helena. I started to check all the background stories, and it all checked out. Earlier in the year, I shared why I named my son Champ, why I named him Willard James Moreland. That post led to me meeting my sister. So I'm on Facebook and I'm sharing about forgiveness, and I'm sharing about how we can move forward in life with situations that have happened in our lives. And I was sharing this story about my son and why I chose my wife and I. For years, we had the names of our children. We said, when we have children, these are going to be their names. So we already had their names etched in stone. And when my wife was pregnant with my son, around month number 6, I came to her and said, we need to change the name. And she was like, well, change the name to what? And I said, he's going to be the third. And for me, what that was signaling, it was signaling that I was forgiving my father and starting off fresh. We were going to set a different course. And so I'm named after my father. And for many years, I hated being named after my father and didn't want people to know my name. But with my son, I said, we're going to make this name mean something of positivity, and we're going to reset the record. And so I'm sharing this on Facebook, and a lady that I do not know, as a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, until this day, I do not know who the lady is. And I don't know why I haven't asked my sister. I'm going to ask my sister. But this lady was watching this Facebook Live. And this lady worked with and was friends with my sister. And her and my sister had been friends for a long time. And she knew that my sister had been adopted, but she also knew who my sister's father was, my father. And she knew that his nickname was Champ. And I don't know if she knew that his name was Willard. I don't know. I got to ask my sister. But she did know that, because before my sister got adopted, this lady and my sister were friends. And this lady ended up going with my sister when she went to go visit my father when they were real young. And I was real young. And this lady remembered that my sister had a little brother. And so she remembered that she had a little brother because for whatever reason, that particular weekend or something, I was there, my sister was there to all visit my father. So this lady watches the Facebook Live. She goes the next day to work and she tells my sister, you need to watch this Facebook Live. My sister watches the Facebook Live and she immediately knows that I'm her brother, not only because of the name. She looked at me, she was like, I know you're my brother, but our father's name is Willard James Moreland. And so I'm sharing this message on Facebook that, I'm naming my son Willard James Moreland III, and we're going to nickname him Champ in honor of my father, And so she reaches out to me. Now, here's the kicker. She reaches out to me, and in Facebook, if you're not Facebook friends, Facebook has that secondary, inbox that it will send people to if you guys aren't friends. So my sister started reaching out to me, I want to say in January of 2017, she started reaching out to me. But because it was going to this separate box and I didn't know nothing about that separate box, I didn't see any of the messages. So on this particular day in March 5th, I was at church. A gentleman came up to me and he says, "Hey, Dr. Will, I've been trying to get in contact with you, but you've been ignoring me." And I'm like, "What do you mean ignoring you?" He's like, "Man, I've been messaging you, and you've been ignoring me." I'm like, "Man, I haven't been ignoring you. I haven't got any messages from you." And my daughter was next to me, and she says, "Daddy, maybe it's in that secondary." And I was like, "What?" I didn't even know about it. And so sure enough, I go and see this secondary Facebook messages, and sure enough, he was there. But not only he was there, that particular Sunday, my sister had inboxed me again. She had inboxed me again. And by this time now, remember, she had been inboxing me from January all the way up until now to March. I had missed all of them. But I see this particular message, and she says something similar to, "Just wanted you to know I love you, not trying to bother you, but would love to talk with you." Now, at this time, that's the only message I see. "I don't mean to bother you. I love you. I would love to talk to you." I'm thinking this is kind of weird. Like, what? Who are you? Why do you love me? And so I start scrolling up the messages, and I scroll all the way up to January. And her very first message was, "Hi, my name is Helena. I know this is going to sound strange, but I'm your sister." And I immediately go, and that day, when I get home, I immediately went and I looked at my dad's obituary, because my dad has passed now. And I looked at the obituary, and I looked at the list of names on there, and Helena was one of the names of my dad's children. And so she began to provide all of this, information and all this type of stuff to prove that she was my sister. And so I say all of that to say, the power of journaling, I'm able to remember this feeling and get triggered per se in a good way, because I wrote it down. And so I have the date, the exact date. And so I know all of this type of stuff, but the feelings that I have attached to that day and that event, I can still go back and reminisce on those feelings because I wrote them down. And so if you're not a person that practices journaling, I would offer that to you, that you would add that to your life, because it's so powerful, it's so meaningful. And I just love going back into my journals, seeing where I was, what I was thinking back in 2017, what I was thinking back, in 2009 and things like that. It's a powerful, powerful source. So if you're not into journaling, I encourage you, go to a local stationery store, buy you a journal, and start journaling. So hope that helped you out today, gave you something to think about, nation. Go out there and have a magnificent day. I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow on The Daily Genius.